Peace, world. Your guy, Mr. Ways. I'm here at Opposing Perspective Podcasting, doing the thing. I salute their work. I want y'all to tune in and make sure that y'all fuck with them because they're getting the work done. Me, Mr. Ways, busy again, as usual. Know that we all over the place. Politics, real estate. Matter of fact, I just opened a store on Minefin Avenue. It's a floor store. Carpet, hardwood floors, vinyl, tile, come get it. This and that, Minefin Avenue. Peace.
We have an entrepreneur in the building, philanthropist, a guy who has knowledge of self, inspirational speaker. We have Anthony Ways in the building, Camden's finest.
Peace. Salute. Salute, word.
With the interview, can you tell me about yourself? Who is Anthony Ways?
Sure. I don't know, for which that question comes from. But if you're asking who am I as an entity, I am a God energy that manifests itself through this physical body that we call Mr. Ways.
That's powerful, man.
That's just real.
Nigga on that stress, always got that money in. Keep a bunch of struggle bitches, just so I can juggle with. Money always stacked up, check my drip, I'm always clean. Packed up, did a try, I shot that bitch all yesterday. Tried that bitch all yesterday, I scoot away, I play the safe. Big dog in the yard, I don't talk.
This is dope, man. I appreciate you coming out here. You familiar with out here, though? You be out here often?
Sick of it? I don't be out here no more. I had a crib out here probably in the teens, 2015, some shit like that. Yeah, I had a crib over. That's
Yeah, they building more townhouses. That was about a couple of years ago, right before the pandemic. I was looking at buying a townhome. It was a townhome like in this development, like 135. And you know what it is now after the pandemic?
350.
400.
Yeah.
It hurts too, because I think about if I just went ahead and just put everything in it and made that investment, I could have really came up. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, and then sometimes we can't be stuck in the moment. We got to see the future. Because that's where, and the numbers, right then, you like, what? Hold up. But yeah.
Nah, I guess you got to believe in yourself, right?
Yes.
It was something that I remember you had another interview, when you interviewed with Dame Dash, you said something about you had an assistant that paid all the bills. And you were like, oh,
that was Sharon.
That was Sharon.
Yeah, we was making the point that, you got to flip that money. What is you talking about? Go pay all the bills first. How would you give your money away to the outsiders? When in reality, you got to keep them resources and make it work. And then, you got to pay your bills because you have to, but just make sure you build it first.
Nah, that's real.
I call it flip twice, spend once.
Well, that's real. We got a dope interview, a dope episode that we want to get into. But before we do that, we want to welcome Opposing Perspectives Podcast. I'm your host, Sedale, and we have an entrepreneur in the building, philanthropist, a guy who has knowledge of self, inspirational speaker. We have Anthony Ways in the building, Camden's finest.
Peace. Salute, word.
I really appreciate you coming out here and doing this. Like,
yes,
sir. This is dope for real. Like, to have you, it's like when you got Anthony Ways on the couch, it's like you made it, kinda. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's it.
So real.
That's a good energy.
Yes. As we're gonna get started with the interview, can you tell me about yourself? Who is Anthony Ways?
Sure. And let me be clear. I've been watching y'all. Y'all doing a good job.
Appreciate
y'all
that.
Growth. Where I could be supportive, let me know, because I like when black men moving forward, and ownership is a key principle to my way of life or philosophy. Who am I? I had this question, I think, the other day, and I don't know, for which that question comes from, but if you're asking who am I as an entity, I am a God energy that manifests itself through this physical body that we call Mr. Ways.
That's powerful, man.
That's just real.
That's powerful. That's dope. So what I would like to ask, can we go into your upbringing? You know, what was your childhood like?
So I'm a Pollock Town kid. I had a little history throughout the other parts of Camden as a youngin'. But Centerville up until like 12 years old. But after 12, yeah, I'm Centerville. My mom, I was born downtown from a baby.
Okay.
My dad and his parents played East Camden, so I was back and forth between East Camden and downtown up until like 5.
Oh, wow.
And then Granny House in Pollock Town. Then they snatched me from Granny House, and that's that little Centerville run we had. But yeah, I'm a Pollock Town dude,
Okay.
in and out.
Okay.
Somewhere around, I would say 15, 16, ventured out on my own. You know, the streets called me.
The streets called you.
Yeah. Prior to that, I was a fucking break dancer. And,
break dancer?
Yeah, I broke dance in junior high school. A Hatch. You look at the Hatch yearbooks, you fucking randomly see me in there. So.
You know, we recently had Jose Slick Perez. Shout out Jose Slick Perez, Sons of Sin creator.
My brother, peace.
He talks about...
Go check that out. Sons of Sin is like that.
Yes. He talks about break dancing. He said he was the man that y'all wanted, you know, cross.
Nah, he a youngin'.
Okay.
Like, I know he old head the most, but to me, he a younger guy.
Okay.
Like, I grew up more with his brothers, and I'm like, nah, by now.
Okay.
But yeah, breakdancing was a thing.
So you did the competitions and all that?
Yeah, I broke dance for Hatch. It was for the school.
Oh, that's dope.
So we traveled. Yeah.
No, that's dope. So now, as you talk about the streets, well, you know, around what age did you get into the streets?
I came off the porch like 14, 15.
Really?
Yeah.
Centerville Pollock. Wow. And you want to elaborate on your run?
I got a big cousin that's a cousin brother. We just was talking about his brother earlier, Pinky. But the Pacific one I'm talking about is Boogaloo. So Bouchon, as we call him, got in trouble like as a juvenile. And for his probation, my family sent him up to New York. So he played New York up until he was 18.
Wow.
But during that time, he learned the trick. So now when he's 18 and he back home, this is when I'm getting off the porch. Because now we know how to take the trip. So we would go get pounds of weed and shit, bring it back. That was the beginning.
How does a young individual, you know, kind of manage the hilltop?
The original name was called The Family. So that's how it really managed. We was really family.
Mm-hmm.
So like I said, the 2 big cousins, my little brother. And then we took on partners, which was Munir and Nunek Brahim.
Mm-hmm.
So they became partners. The brother Shakur was a partner. So like we all became partners, but the reality is most of us was family. Even those brothers was brothers to each other. So the original name was The Family. The crazy part, the officer, Lenny Hall, is who gave us the name Hilltop.
Oh,
yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
R.I.P. Lenny Hall. So let's go into your trial. So we want to fast forward a little bit to 89 is when you're arrested.
Yes.
And you know, you are accused of a murder that you are nowhere on the scene, nowhere found nowhere near. You want to go into that arrest?
89. You know, when I look at Paid in Full and that music come on, it take me back. that they captured it. So 89, if you visualize it, was a Paid in Full scene. That was the way we was carrying it. So niggas had dookie robes, you know. I had a Porsche I bought from Nick. I had my Cadillac, Z28, you know, niggas rocking their jewels. So that was the scene. And a white boy got killed, and he got killed for $20.
This makes no sense.
Right. So in that space, I guess they just was looking for their nigga. And the fact that me and Brahim was the energy of the hilltop, our 2 names was the names that they pulled out of the hat.
And there's like a few witnesses. There's a few people that accuse y'all of being there. There's a guy named Lamar that accused you. So what is he? He just runs and tells the prosecutors that you were there, that it was you, just to take it off of him, or?
Nah, I don't even think so. I don't know though. Honestly, like I don't know what his motives was. Mm-hmm. But what I do know is, if the murder for the boy Weiss, I'm gonna say the white boy. If the white boy got killed Saturday, Sunday, detectives picked up Lamar. Tuesday, they picked me up. Now, why did they grab him? What was the motive? I never knew. I don't know. Mm-hmm. What I do know is that it was him that said, me and No Neck did it. However, though, they couldn't go off of his statement because his statement was kind of fugazi. Like, he was like, yeah, Mr. Ways cocked back the gun, told the motherfucker, you better not move, all this goofy shit. When the reality of the scene was the victims pull up in their car and motherfucker produced the gun and they pulled off. So him saying the guy was begging for his life, he had a 9mm, all bullshit, because it was a revolver that.
Oh, okay.
So it ain't no cock back, all that shit was made up. Now, why did the police run with him? I don't know. What they put on paper, they said it was an anonymous phone call. I'm gonna try it now. And somebody just called up there. True. And just arbitrarily just threw our names out there, which I don't believe is true. They went off of Lamar, they went and got our pictures, and they presented it to the victim's friend. That was the driver.
Yeah, so ultimately, the victims were white, and they were driving around the city looking for cocaine.
True.
Apparently, they don't even know anything about Camden and where they're going around the city because they're getting lost.
True.
They apparently, I guess they got a tip of your nickname Man Cakes, but they claim to be in an alleyway on Chase and Lewis, but there's no alleyway.
Right.
Apparently, they were trying to get cocaine. A guy comes to the window, leaves, comes back, points the gun. The guy drives off. And in that moment, it sounds like the guy just kind of panicked as the guy drove off and let loose of the gun. They had a description of your jacket, right? And that's what they had. So the jacket doesn't have, the do forensic doesn't have any gunpowder.
No.
And they say the only way it wouldn't have gunpowder if the guy's arm is straight ahead. There's no way if a guy is driving and you're there's no way my arm is going to stay straight in the window.
Right. You pulling off.
Your hand got to be jumping and doing something. So
they got to move, right.
Gunpowder got to show up somewhere. It's very a similar situation of forensic evidence being suppressed in the crime or not looking heavily into it as similar as, KB and stuff as well.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah, so they ain't do none of that. The description was even worse. The description of my clothes was only because that's what I had on and they seen pictures of it. That's another story. Because I did have an outfit on that was a turquoise green looking outfit. But his description was a guy that was 5'7", 5'8", 150 pounds. I'm telling you, I had to be 10 years old the last time that I could be anywhere near that description. So that was the real reality of it. The dude was a little dude.
Yeah.
And the other thing that stood out was they said I had a hat on. Sometimes I'd be nervous wearing my hat because I took a picture, a juvenile picture with a hat on. The same way. And they took a mugshot of me. And that's what they showed the white boy. So his description was somebody 5'7", 5'8", 150 pounds with a knit hat on.
And you can't tell if you're 5'8" or not in the picture.
Nah. And now they got a headshot with me, the only person in photo array with a hat on.
Wow.
Yeah.
So 89, you make bail, right?
Yeah.
Basically, you're getting together your defense, right? At this point.
Yeah.
Right? The trial happens in 91. You're convicted. You're sentenced to 40 to life, right?
Correct.
So as you're sentenced to 40 to life, you know, what is going through your mind as you realize you got to face prison?
I mean, it ranges, right? So from anger to frustration, you know. My mama used to say all the time, yo, you gotta have faith, you gotta have faith. And I'm saying, all right, mom, I got faith, and this thing is moving backwards, right? So, you know, it was a range. Anger, I had my homicidal thoughts, meaning I had my contemplation of, I'm gonna stick some shit into some of these police, and then I'll have the time I got. It'll be something that I did, as opposed to be doing a life sentence for something the fuck I ain't have nothing to do with. So the energy ranged.
Is that how, like, you had that mindset going into it? Like, you didn't have any struggles at first, you know? Like, your mindset was you were going to deal with it and deal with your battles internally?
Nah, Mom. You know, again, it ranged. Like, in the beginning, I was dismissive of it, honestly. Mm-hmm. I don't know nothing about no courts. I never been in no prison in my life. So I have no idea of none of this. So but I had a couple dollars. And I foolishly thought my money can free me.
You thought you didn't have to put any work on your own and research yourself?
Right. I had the best lawyers. I had a lawyer named Lenny Baker. When I got him, he had 400 trials under his belt. So he was that guy. So I just thought I'll be relying on that. And then they banged me out. My first appeal, I still think I was still caught up in that mindset because, all right, they're going to correct this because, you know, I'm going to point out the issues where they wrong. They got to acknowledge it. And then, you know, I'll be out and moving on with my life. But they banged me again. Because
you're like, I didn't do this. I wasn't there. So
right.
You're like, it's got to come.
It got to come out. It got to matter that I wasn't there. Right.
But this is Camden County's prosecutor's office.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
Samuel Asbell. I don't know if y'all hip to who that is. But Samuel Asbell was a vicious white boy that created a scenario where he said two black men were shooting at him. He said he then returned fire and blew one of their heads. I remember they said at 1.8, they had the state troopers, helicopters, everything running around looking for this 1.8 the whole time he made the whole story up. But this is the guy that prosecuted me. This is the guy that put the charges on me.
Wow.
Yeah. So that was the atmosphere we was under in Camden in the late 80s, early 90s.
So by any means, they were going to get you guys, by any means.
Yeah. That's a fact.
Wow. So when they arrested you, they took your Cadillac, right?
Yeah. I got pulled over in a Cadillac.
Cuz told me, I want to go back to your arrest real quick because I had skipped that part. Cuz told me, he was like, he remembered it was early in the morning and all he sees is the Cadillac being towed. Yeah. And he was like, because you told me you drove past. I drove past
the police and they bottlenecked. Like it was 4 police in the car and they all looked up when I passed. And so I say to my baby mom, like, yo, something just happened. I don't know what the fuck that is, but something happened. And in my uncertainty, I said, I'm going to my granny house. So when I pull up, he all jumped out. But yeah, they snatched the car, evidence, whatever.
And that just shows that seems like they were watching regardless, and they were just definitely going to get you regardless.
Yeah.
Wow, because it's a number of cases that I've been reading on there, and it's like it's the same exact tactics, the same exact maneuvers, and it's like Camden County, they have they have a different way of going about it compared to up north or North Jersey. Real blatant.
Yes, they are.
Don't care, and can easily just run off of emotions, like, you know what I mean, which is
pride emotions make the decisions. Most of them guys.
So while you're in prison, you know, you're figuring out a way to hustle and make money and build up your team, correct?
While I'm in prison, I still got my state of mind that I'm in. As a young guy in the streets, I got to a couple dollars. Like I said, I knew how to make the trip, and in that trip, you know, I was able to put a couple dollars together. So I still had that state of mind in prison. And once my pills start getting knocked down, who paying for them? I got to pay for this shit. You know, it's a couple $100,000 per a pill.
Per pill?
Yeah, $100,000 easy. Maybe more when I'm doing investigators and all that stuff. So in putting that bread together, my resources from the streets ran out. So I start putting the programs together in the prison. I hustled in prison. I probably sold more drugs in prison than I did in the street. People don't know that, but that's just a real story.
That's wild.
Like, I'll get charged with selling drugs in the street, and I don't got nothing to do with it. I don't even know what crack look like, yo. I swear to God, I don't even know what that shit is. Like, because in my game, I was a powder dude. So I don't know what crack look like for real. So when people try to put that label on me as he in the streets and hustle, that shit garbage. Cook what? Boy, I don't know how that shit work. They said put water on it. I said, you gonna put water on what? That shit ain't make no motherfucking sense to me. So, yeah, I'm just being truthful. I don't know nothing about that. I don't know nothing about that. But in the prison, I sold a lot of drugs. This is how I had lawyer bills.
How does Camden get that off with having to go against Newark and being so much smaller than Newark?
See, I don't got that history that most people got, meaning I never been to jail before. I never been to juvenile. I never been through none of the adult programs. So I only know what I know. And what I know is that I am who I am. And if I'm going to make it street related, I'm a fucking hilltopper, and this is the program. So now when I get in Trenton, I don't know there's supposed to be no motherfucking hierarchy where another town, because they more in population, supposed to be running shit. I don't know nothing about that. Because I'm gonna tell you, and I'm not talking slick, you go look at my history in Trenton. Camden ran Trenton when I was there, and it was so. It was so. It was so.
How does Camden run Trenton?
The first phases of it for me was there was a thing called PRT, Prisoners Rhetoric Theater. It was an organization that, like, they done theater things, like if you're in pain, you know how you're supposed to act out your emotions, all that good shit. So it was that type of thing. Mm-hmm. And it was created by a Camden dude. When I got there, a Bristol guy was running it, and he was like, yo, man, bruh told me to make sure that this fall into a Camden nigga hand, and the only one I see suitable is you. So I'm going to pass this torch off to you. When he passed it off, I changed the program. It wasn't about theater. It was about really studying. Mm-hmm. We studied real estate, finance, law, psychology. Like, that was the program. So the first phase of it, again, was we took over the organization. Like, I ain't working. I ain't go to work in prison. I went to an office and sat at a desk and I did computer work. Like, I ain't do regular work. I did that. So now in doing that, I got a little influence. Paralegals and shit, I'm getting niggas cases. I know who the fuck is who and who the fuck ain't. You fake ass motherfuckers, I got the paperwork. So now there go one check. Nigga, you can be a gangster as you want to be, all you want. The truth of the matter is, don't make me pull your card, because I know. So that was a phase of it. The other one was the narcotics. Like, I put my hands on a few police. Mm-hmm. They brought the drugs in, and we had the drugs on lock. So, most people will get the drugs in through visit hall, whatever they do. And so that means during the weekend, people have their drugs.
Wow.
I was getting it in through the police. So come Wednesday, Thursday, I'm flooding the zone. I'm taking all the bread. Listen, it was $300,000 that was automatically coming to Trenton through the receipts of people working. Like a nigga got a job, they get their little. So it was 3,000 cats there. I did the math, it ended up like 300,000. 200 of that 1,000 was going to commissary. The other 100,000, I wanted it. Now, there go the fucking math. So between running the organization and putting that play together, I ran my plays. Like I opened up a couple stores. One was a bookstore. So people will order books, but really they'd be paying for the narcotics. I sent a book in or a food store. I sent a food package. Depends on the type of nigga he was. If he sent a few $100, I sent a food package back and shit. Yeah.
So, wow, that's wild, man. You are, you really a businessman all around, man. Like, and you just really think business is like you really, know how to get it done, how to put your money to work.
And I think that's just a necessary thing for us as black men. Everybody know our history, slavery. The Reconstruction, 1 minute we free, next minute they change the laws on us. So this is why you hear me talk about them 4 principles of mastery of law, knowledge of self, community. You gotta be a part of your community and do the work. And ownership, bro. If we don't own it, we playing games.
Well, I want to get into your business that you started while you was in prison, but before we do that, me and Cuz, I introduced Cuz to this girl named Val, who's a social media influencer. Mm-hmm. And she had watched the pod episode where I had Slick and Stuff and KB on, and they shouted out your name, Man Cakes. And she said, Man Cakes, he from Camden? She was like, I know him. We would go out there and have our socks on our hand and be waving so he's seen us. Yeah. So I don't know if happen to be familiar with her at all. But you see that's Reese right there.
Yeah. I don't know, her face look familiar. I don't have my glasses on. But she's right in saying that. Yeah. That was my mother used to there's a thing in the Bible talking about going around the tower 7 times around the tower and the tower fall down. You hip to that?
The tower, no.
So it's a biblical thing. But yeah, my mom and them are organized people, and they'll come and they'll march around the prison. Yeah, 7 times around the prison, the walls is gonna come falling down. She was a faithful woman. She is a faithful woman, but she was faithful in my struggle.
Wow. Wow. So while doing your bid, you had a strong support system from your family, from what it sounded like, based on what you said.
Absolutely, hands down, my support system was magnificent.
You had people visitations and everything.
I never missed a visit, probably for years. Out of doing the 13 years, I probably missed 5 visits.
Wow.
Phone, the brotherhood. We got by me having time on my hands, one of the things, and I told you with the new organization we would study. So real estate was one of the things that was a part of our studies.
Yes.
So when we study, I would reach back to my brotherhood, like, the boy Shakur. And we built $1 million company out of, called the Sedale Corporation while I was in prison. And it was all off of real estate, grabbing, fixing, flipping.
And that was initially your idea? Or?
Yeah, this was my play. I couldn't physically carry it out because I was in prison. But before I went to prison, know that I had a bar and a corner store. So business was a part of my program. And then when I got into prison, I learned. Like in the beginning, just the same with my case, I let my money talk more than I did knowledge. So it was my family bar. I took it over. It was my money that took it over. But I remember my uncle saying, yeah, the tax office is going to come and check the assets and liabilities. And I'm saying, what the fuck this nigga talking about? Boy, I have no fucking clue what this nigga talking about. Yeah, then I went and studied. I'm like, man, all you had to do was say the re-up money and cash flow. You know what I mean? Like, of course, I know that. But damn them terms. And then for me, that's when I learned. Each discipline got its own terminology. A lot of this shit is the same. It's just each discipline got its terminology. You got to master that terminology.
So let's go into your other businesses. You had like an exotic.
Jazz Wide Courage.
Was an exotic escort dancer.
They was strippers.
Okay.
Jazz Wide Entertainment.
And it was through the internet.
Yeah, the internet just got on the scene. And, man, I was looking for the hustle, I told you the narcotics. We was doing in real estate. But then I put the girls that was with me to work. Not them. I guess they was the madams or something. But I put the girls to work and niggas and females too. So we'll get their images and their, videos. We'll pull them up on a website. And people that wanted bachelor parties and bachelorette parties, they'll come and book it.
How long did you run that?
For like 6 years.
Can you go into the story what made you stop?
I stopped because I came home. And my mom used to charge me with like, boy, you never coming home because you out there got them girls out there selling their butts and shit. And I'm like, Mom, no, I don't. Like, they dancing. Now, if they go and do the freaky shit in the bathroom, they on their own. And I don't get a cut. I don't want to know. I don't want no money. But I'm going to get this booking fee. This is mine. So the booking fee was mine. They got the tips. And we ran a program for years like that. But now, I combined the worlds, too. Like, I had a house out East Camden. And we would do this sport thing where it'll be the Super Bowl. Girls would run around with a thong on or naked or whatever, serving chips and, the fellas. And then it was 3 rooms up there. But if they wanted to go up there, it's none of my motherfucking business.
Nothing about what's going on up there.
Yeah. But now with that said, because of my mom charges, like I'll be schooling the girls to how to buy real estate. One of the programs was such that if you made so much money out of the crib would become yours. You know what I mean? Because,
So you had incentives.
Yeah.
So not only that, you know how to run your team and manage your team and keep the production going with your team and keep them motivated.
Yes, sir.
Well, you're a very intelligent man. For real. So there's a couple other businesses that you started in prison. It wasn't just them two. Not the real estate, not the exotic dance. Was it a nonprofit? Did you start the nonprofit in prison? I didn't,
but I wrote about it. My books, the 2 books I wrote about, I wrote both of them in prison. And I was giving my theory on what I think Camden need, all communities actually, but speaking to our community. And what it need in order for it to rebuild and create a new reality there. So I spoke of, how nonprofits, credit unions, different organizations could play a role in our growth and development.
What's the name of that book, of the books that you wrote?
The Journey, the Decriminalization of Black America.
Okay.
And then the other one's called Urbanomics. It was a play on the urban neighborhood and economics.
Okay. Do you happen to mention anything about Reaganomics in there?
Nah.
No?
Reaganomics was such that I was a kid. But I did cover history. It was more like, what are the leading economic structures like communism, socialism, capitalism? How does the market play? How do we play in a market? Because really I believe in capitalism up into the exploitation of the worker. So, my theory in life is that if you put the worker as a part of the ownership, then we all on the same page. But when you exploiting the worker, then that's that white supremacist bullshit.
Yeah, and that's the reason why I asked if you mentioned Reaganomics, because Reaganomics exploited
the shit out of us. Everybody, because they went about corporate America and start building that corporate was more important than the citizens program.
All right. So your cash flow is building. You don't have no exoneration team. You built your own, as you say.
Yeah.
You want to talk about that and go into that, building your own?
Again, the struggle was always about my freedom, So when I stopped relying on money, the God energy called me forward. I got to look within self. So that self journey was the journey, and in that space of the self journey, I start becoming more aware of the way I want to approach, fighting for my struggle. So one of the things I did was hire the 3 best. Really, it was like 8 of them, but I threw like 5 of them in the trash. But I hired the best paralegals in the prison. That was my first move. Let me know what the fuck I'll be supposed to be looking for and what this thing about. Because as I told y'all early on, I knew, but I didn't know. I was learning a piece here, a piece there. But the reality of what the fuck the judge want to hear in order for me to get free? Like, how do I look for that? Without it being a biased thing of, I'm innocent. Because at this point, nobody gives a fuck.
Because everybody's innocent in prison.
They don't give a fuck about that. Even the law don't even allow you to argue innocence. Once the jury find you guilty, from that point forward, you're considered guilty. So the innocent part is out the door. And I didn't comprehend that for the first couple of years. I kept really thinking that it mattered that I didn't do it. Mm-hmm. That ain't the way the law works. And this is what I'm talking about when I say we got to become masters of the law. Because the law is really about them doing the process. And in that process, did they violate your constitutional rights? That's the essence of American law. And if they violate it, then you go get to it and show your program. But, if we don't know that, and, from my perspective, I'm innocent and the world know it, when y'all gonna recognize it, they not. Right. They don't give a fuck. If anything, they, your black ass is supposed to be there anyway, you black nigga. That shit.
No, that's unfortunate. Yeah, that's how it is. And too often you see, the process of court just being rushed, you know what I mean, where you don't really have enough time to think as a defendant or put your mind together.
Even if you could think, because I'm telling you, bro, I never counted myself as a dummy. If anything, I counted myself as an intellect, even as a kid. But even in that, I wasn't aware that's the way the fucking process worked. I'll do this program work. You don't know, and you're relying on a lawyer. I remember in the Wade hearing, the hat thing I just was talking about. I asked the lawyer, why are we having this hearing? He said, it's called the Wade hearing. We need to point out something that's stands out in your photo array. We got to show some prejudice. I said, well, I got a hat on. I'm the only one with one. You're like, what? Let me see. And I'm saying, oh shit, this dude ain't even, but I wasn't either. I can't blame him because neither was I. It was him saying that to me right there that I say, well, how about the fact I got a hat on? Is that an issue? He's like, what? Let me see. and then he realized, oh shit. And then he go in. But if I don't point that out, that ain't on the record like that. We got to know that our lives and the way we facing this system is geared towards destroying us.
So we got to take charge because we're dependent on white lawyers.
You can't.
To understand black
You
struggle.
can't. And I don't give a fuck if he paid, if he a public defender. None of them is going to relate to you. You have to go do the work. You have to go and do your own investigative work. And then you got to, know how to put the paperwork together because that's the game.
How involved were you with your lawyers, with directing them and managing them? Like what? I'm
telling you, my first round, I thought I could rely on my money.
Yeah, I know the first round.
My second round, in me appealing, I'm the one that wrote the motherfucking brief for my case. I freed myself. Ain't nobody free me.
They just there to represent you.
They went and argued my issues that I found.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that's really what a lawyer is. It's just representation. They're not the investigators.
They're not the investigators. They're not you. They there to figure it out, what they presenting to the judge, and sometimes they winging it. But your life is on the line. Your freedom is on the line. Your liberty. It's at stake.
So you say don't ever feel intimidated by a lawyer to say, I went to law school, I know more than you. You need to listen to me.
Listen, man, you're a fool if you put your hands in these people, your life in these people's hands, depending on them. A quick story, I know I'm skipping.
No, you're fine, go ahead.
In during the process, Christy Todd Whitman created the law that says if you was falsely accused, you can get $20,000 a year or double your income. That was not trying to have to prove malice and all that shit. All right, fast forward, my case get reversed. Jeffrey Zook supposed to be the big time lawyer boy in the city. I say, Zook. He say, all right, Ways, the way we gonna resolve this is you gonna plead guilty to the gun charge and everything else get thrown out. I said, no the fuck I ain't. He like, come on, Ways, what you talking about? I said, man, for two reasons. One, I'm going to go back out to society that I have no idea what's going on out there. If I got my gun on me, I got two charges? Fuck out of here. The second thing, well, it is three. The second thing was, I have nothing to do with that night. If you got me pleading guilty to have anything to do with that night, get the fuck out of here. The third was, I was aware of the lawsuit. So I'd say to him, yo, if I'm associated with that night, I can't get the money that they owe me. Ways, you don't know what you're talking about, told the brother Shakur. Man, your man, talk to your man, he don't know what he's talking about. I said, yo, I'll go get the law. All right, go get it. You get it, I'll eat it. I said, motherfucker, I'm gonna make you eat this motherfucker law. Man, we ran over the records and did the research, pulled that thing out, bam, there it go. Now I take it to him. Eat the law. My brothers and them like, come on, Cakes. I'm like, nah, motherfucker, be a man of your word, eat the law. Of course he wasn't. So his guy, another lawyer, say, all right, Ways, we gonna make a cake and print it, and then he gotta eat it. That way we both satisfied. Cool. I said, really, man, y'all know what the point was. I'm telling this man, this is the way we gotta approach it because I did my research. And the end result, I was right.
Wow. I mean, so ultimately, in your case, what was it that freed you, that got you out? Because it came out that there's a witness that they have, and she's under the influence. She's getting high on cocaine or crack or whatever. And there's a couple other witnesses, right, that they try to have?
Yeah. And well, nobody was it was other ways they, try to bring the conviction together. And yeah, Donna Carter. Yeah. She was a crackhead that they used. And but that didn't get my case overturned, although she came and testified that she was on drugs, selling pussy. Police came up, asked her about the situation. She said, yeah, she know about it, but didn't want to get involved. End result, they planted drugs on her, told her that she going to do what she needed to do to go to City Hall, up the Hall of Justice, or they was locking her up. So she then came and testified to that. So that testimony was at the same time. But I'm telling you, God and the God energy is what freed me. Now what that mean? Two things that happen that just, I can't explain it. One is the judge and his assistant, the clerks that read the cases, they wouldn't put my case down. Supreme Court don't take regular cases. It only take cases that are either constitutional or it has to affect the public at large, like wearing a seatbelt. Like, you dig? Like, everybody affected by that. So the car crashes and all that. So the Supreme Court will take something like that up. Or if your Constitution was violated. But a regular murder case is a murder case that was individualized, and they'll dismiss that as, yeah. But the clerk read my case and said something kept nagging at her. Oh, man, the only thing I could think nagging at her is God. What else nagging at her? And then she went to this, the Chief Justice said something's wrong with this case. They read over it and they took my case up. That was the first thing that was like different. But right before that, the boy that really committed the murder, they put him in a cell with me when I'm at the when I'm at the PCR hearing. When I'm having a hearing in front of the judge, man, they put the boy in a cell with me. What the fuck is that, y'all? So I say to him, what's up? You know, I'm about 10 years in and I'm saying, you know, this ain't my program, baby, it's yours. What we doing? Like, you can't think that I'm gonna be eating this all my life. And, you know, to his end, he knew that because, you know, he was getting approached in the prison. It wasn't easy for him. So it was like, yo, it don't get easier. You know what I mean? I get bitter if anything. Not to be stopped. But I went at him. We probably talked for about a half hour, And then he said, yo, tell your lawyer to call me. And right then and there, when they called me out, I told my lawyer, yo, boy, back there. He's like, what? I said, and he said, call you back there. You want to talk? You want to get on the stand? I don't know what he going to say. I asked him what I asked him, you know what I mean? But he was like, yeah, call me. And he got on the stand and he put it out there. Yeah.
I got to ask, did things get easier for him in prison?
Absolutely. Because he put it out there. Now it ain't on him no more. I don't know what else y'all want now. You understand what I'm saying? Like, the boy is confessing that it wasn't me, that the person who did it, he loved beyond measure, and he don't want to flush him down the toilet. But I could tell you personal knowledge, it wasn't Mr. Ways. This is his testimony. So, he did right. The system got to do right now.
And then ultimately Ways comes out and says, I'm not sure if I got the wrong guy. I just came out and said something and said it.
Who, the white boy?
Yeah, the white boy.
No, throughout his testimony, he always said I resembled. In court, he never pointed at me and said, Mr. Ways did it. Never. I never was identified in court.
And I think his mom...
I get to prison.
And I think his mom even said she felt as though he didn't get the right person. The sister. Okay.
Yeah, the sister of the boy that got killed ended up being friends with my wife. Like, she helped me through my case.
Wow, that's deep. Wow.
This is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. A lot of this is the God, Because, hey, come on. What white woman from Hattonfield is coming to fuck with black people in Camden when their brother got killed?
Too?
Yeah,
no, that's real. So you get out in 2004?
Yes.
You're out. What's going through your mind? What is it like adjusting to society?
Listen, right? I never left.
Yeah, that's real.
So physically, I was away, but I never left. I never left because I had contact with my folks. You know, I still was building businesses. I still was out here. So when they said your body's free, I just was like, time to go to work. Like, that was my reaction. Time to go to work.
So while you're out, I guess you're going even harder in the real estate now.
Yes, we got into construction, real estate, and I picked up politics. Like, you know, I told y'all we played politics in prison, you know, through the organization. And then when I came home, I picked that up. So the murder rate was like 60, you know, above 50. And we started a softball game, the softball league, where we played softball during the summer.
Oh.
And every year we did it, the murder rate dropped. The first year we did it, it just drastically dropped down to 32. And then it started hovering around 30. And what pretty much happened was we got everybody from each neighborhood, the leaders of the hood, you know. Back then I had a little motherfucking juice card I could call a motherfucker. I don't know if they pick it up for me these days. But back then I had a little juice card and I called the hood up. So each leader of the neighborhood recruited their teams, which were hood niggas, and we put together like 12 teams.
So it was like a travel team around in Camden. Each hood going against each other?
No, each hood going against each other, but we stayed right there in Stanley Park.
Okay.
Barbecue, DJ, bouncy houses, you know, book bag giveaway, vouchers for clothes, haircuts, like you just name it. We was out there having a fucking family affair every Sunday.
Is that what prompted, I guess, more of you prioritizing your time towards the youth?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. Well, you know, I always fought, like, you know, with Baker and Washington. I got a nephew named Teron. Always help lawyers fight for their freedom type of shit. So that was always a part of the program. But back to the community service, the idea was that we got to get together and start communicating. Mm-hmm. I remember a brother saying, yo, I used to see him in Crystals, and I used to say, if I catch him sleeping, I'm doing it. They end up making music together and becoming best friends. And it was through being able to laugh and play the game, you know. And then they recognize, oh man, dude ain't a bad guy. Or that misunderstanding. I was in a bar last night drunk. I stepped on you. I ain't mean to dismiss you. I was drunk, bro. Mm. All right, true. But now imagine that not being able to happen. They go a beef. That boy catch him sleeping. Yeah. So that space allowed communication, which lowered the temperature of the neighborhood.
Wow. Yeah. Wow. No, that's dope. You want to go into the other nonprofits, you know, the Dare Academy.
So CANDO was what I was just talking about.
Okay.
It's Camden African Neighborhood Development Organization. And then Collab. Collab was a justice program that I created. It was about helping people through the justice system and juveniles, absolutely, but even adults, you know, that 18 to 32 age. So Collab was created, and we was running the programs, entrepreneur education. I remember we had a class, it'd be like the young people come to class, they get $50 per class. And
so you would pay the students, the youth to be there?
Yeah.
To motivate them to come?
To motivate them to come. So we would pay them the $50, but the twist was, and the class was once a week, so it wasn't like a lot. They got $50 a week. But the twist was you had to put it in a savings account. The class ran for 12 weeks, whatever that math is, $800, whatever it is. I remember $800, so whatever the classes was, it was $800 that they had to save. If they showed through their bank accounts, because a part of the class was opening up a bank account, you know, the whole shit. If they showed through that bank account that they saved the $800, we doubled it and gave them $1,600. If they wrote a business plan on what they'll do with the $1,600, we doubled that and gave them $3,200 to start their business. So some of the brothers started like a mobile washing machine, car wash. Some of the young brothers went and got waters and their motherfucking little thing and went to the corners and sold waters, you know, ices or whatever.
That's
some brothers had a little more elaborate shit going on, but yeah, it was the program for the young boys. Collab.
And you came up with that idea?
Yes.
That's brilliant. I mean,
what up? This your boy Khaled. What I need y'all to do right now, I need y'all to run over to Amazon Prime and get that SOS, Sons of Sins. It's the hottest thing out in the streets right now. Go tune in with us right now, Sons of Sins.
The street lifestyle might seem attractive, but most time it leads to chaos and destruction. This is a Camden story, North to be exact.
I've been talking to Big Shot. We gonna furnish whatever we buy. They got the best coke out right now. You ready for that mission?
Hell yeah. Just wish I knew more about it though. They going in there strapped for war, man. This shit's serious.
We gonna do more than just trap, you know?
Man, give me everything, man.
What the fuck? What the fuck happened? Got him!
Niggas respect the big guns. It's an intimidation factor, you feel me?
The main rule with this shit right here is you rather get caught with these motherfuckers than get caught without them.
Some wild cowboy shit, man.
So y'all motherfuckers causing havoc out in the streets, huh?
Look, man, it's how you no sense. You know, see if you want to get down with this thing of ours. Why Taino didn't come, man? We 20 years in.
Should make it happen, man. Fuck them Camden niggas, you know?
You know, it's always a green light. Hey, listen, man, we got something online for you, man. You up for it? Who it is?
All your friends is dead. What, you trying to be the next one?
I done came a long way from being broke. Just to know these streets ain't never give us hope. Thank God I was born with the hustle in me. Stay solid through the shit that broke them other niggas.
So ultimately, there becomes a situation with the building's roof. There's only like a small section in the back where the building roof is messed up.
Yes.
That area, no one even goes to that area of the building, right?
Don't go, not allowed, and it been like that before I boarded. Before I made the agreement.
So they closed the Dare Academy and boarded it up in September.
Yes.
You know, my theory was also that I always felt like, you know, the city's politicians probably didn't like a lot of the movies and things that were coming out because we were you know, talking about the corrupt stuff that they were doing, that they were going on in the city. You know, we were putting them out there.
Facts.
So, you know, because they always getting credit for cleaning the city up, but you guys are the ones that put the city, you know,
and really cleaned the city up
in that situation. The ones that are going to clean the city up are the people that actually live in the city.
Facts.
I never forget. I had a family court hearing at the down there in Camden, and I had a public defender the first trial, and you know, I was talking to him about the city, asking if he knew certain landmarks or whatever. I had no idea. He didn't even know what King Avenue was.
Wow.
How can they tell people what to do in a city or suggest what is right for a city if they don't even know anything about the city?
Facts. I would argue, bro, that we still haven't left the model of the 60s. Like, when I'm thinking of that, I'm thinking of Malcolm X and the Ballad or the Bullet. Like, we still face that reality. Or Martin Luther King, economic, you know, about the poor people and economic structures, which I really think he probably got killed for because he started talking about ownership and really getting to the bag as opposed to just the civil rights thing. And one of the Malcolm's favorite quotes was, "The field nigga and the house nigga," which is the definition of that old divide and conquer thing that they done to us in slavery. And I'm telling you, they still are exercising that same motherfucking tactic. These niggas that run the city of Camden is oppressing black men. Know that. If you show me a black man that advanced in the last 20 years, man, I got $100 for you. Associated with the politics of Camden. They don't advance us, they oppress us. And if you do get advanced, pretty much you probably kissing the boots of the boy George. You gotta be something different. What he say go. So I guess there's a few people with titles, but beyond titles, again, y'all know my principles. I'm measuring ownership, law, knowledge of self, and how you serving your community. And if you ain't doing none of that, you know, I don't fit in that if you're not doing none of that. And I'm not a part of it. And pretty much that's the politics of our city, that they are gatekeepers of the powers that be. And when it comes to empowering community, nah.
That's not their job.
Nah. In fact, I would almost argue, I don't even think they know how to do it. Like, if they say, the good brother Garrett started a cleaning business, they know how to go and check to see if you got authority to do that and then say, oh, you can't open that cleaning business, it's a hazardous. Mm-hmm. But if you go to them and say, yo, I'm interested in a cleaning business and we have hazardous material, how do we go about containing that or the proper way, and they would look at you like you fucking crazy.
Because you told we talked about this the other day. You said that there were certain things that were going on that you were trying to work out, so that way the building wouldn't get shut down. You had plans, and
so
you came up with a plan to get everything fixed.
Absolutely, it's a blueprint. I got a deal with, which I probably ain't, but the NJEDA was going to give us money to help assist in making sure that we have everything in its proper order. But now my issue was, we made a deal for me to purchase this. I gave an offer to accept it. Then politics got involved again. In that, this is where my freeze come in at. Damn, I'm out of my pocket $2 million. Y'all not helping me. This is strictly out of my pocket. And now I know I gotta spend another $2 million to make this building right. How I'm doing that and I can't move forward in the purchase? Why? I'm already feeling like a sucker spending my money. I really don't feel like a sucker. I'm just saying this, like in economic terms, because in spiritual terms, y'all crazy as hell. I'll spend it again.
You about to pay
you understand? If it's
you're not even owning it.
That part. So now, if it's on me and we talking about spirituality and that God energy, I'll go spend $2 million again for the service of my community. But now, in an economic sense, when I'm doing the math, I'm saying, oh man, well, I could go take this $2 million and do something else. For y'all to tell me that y'all could take the building after I put the money in there. So let's complete what we agreed upon, because I have a contract. And, I might be breaking news right here. I'll be suing them sooner than later. I have a contract in place already. We agreed to a price, everything. And then they just froze on me. And then now in the freeze, what they did the other day wasn't legal. They came, inspected what they already knew was there when they gave it to me, and then used that to condemn the building and say, y'all got 24 hours to leave. What do you mean 24 hours? That's called due process. Man, even a fucking idiot know that you get notices and you got to go through due process, but they didn't give us no due process. They gave us 24 hours.
So not the 30, the 24.
Not the 30 to 24. But even in the 30, right, the city gave us 30 because they know better. It's the law. So they got to give us 30 days to rectify. It ain't 30 days to leave. It's 30 days to rectify the issues. So now, no 30 days to rectify from the district, and they shut us down in 24 hours. So, this is where the politics come into play.
They put out a narrative that porn was being done there.
Yeah.
Prostitution and stuff was going on.
Yeah, that we were shooting porn videos. Anything, brother, ruin the reputation. That's when you know that you're doing the God work, when they creating shit. Like, bruh, I am who I am. I got enough bad in me that you can define me by my truth. You don't gotta go make no bullshit up. No fucking porn, all that garbage. That's all garbage kind of stuff, y'all.
Wow.
But I did a thing, right? People don't know, like in my prison time, I shared with y'all what I studied and all that, but my greatest study out of my 15 hours of studying a day was 10 of it to law. I was fighting for my freedom. So what you come to learn is certain principles in law. Due process is one of them. You can't do a thing without due process in America. And you get to learn other tricks of the trade. So one of the tricks of the trade is called Oprah. You know what that is? Mm-hmm. It's an open operation, but pretty much if people in government is using emails, texts, any communication, you as a citizen got right to that communication, because as a citizen, you really own the technology.
Wow.
So I Oprah'd the district, if you will. Yeah, so I knew their games. I'm seeing the emails between people that, pretend to be community activists and community organizers, and the whole time they fucking calling the police saying, "Yo, talk to him." He and a violator, the building violation code managers, they saying, "Yo, talk to him." Like they orchestrating the motherfucking shutdown, and these supposed to be the people of the community. So that's where I'm at with it.
So you're still in them. You're getting ready. Sorry, my bad about that.
No, you're good.
You're getting ready to go to court. How soon do you think this is going to take?
I would say it'd probably be around May.
Wow.
In that my first level of Oprah revealed shit that I was unaware of. That I got to Oprah the second layer now. Oh, you motherfucker, I see you now. Now, once I study the document, I'm watching the communication, I'm saying, this part missing. I need this. So gathering evidence to show and prove that I had a contract in place, that all of a sudden, the politics turned against me and my contract got brushed aside and they start negotiating with other things and other realities. And, we'll see what the court said.
Wow. Well, I would ask you what's next. That's usually what I close out with. But I think...
what's next?
Yeah, what's next is what's going to happen in May, I take it.
Well, that's for that side. But the truth of the matter, I'm a developer. Mm-hmm. That's what I do for a living. And what's next don't got nothing to do with Camden. So, in that space of me serving my community and being there for my community, I gave my energy, I gave my shot. But what's really next for me is to develop in affordable housing and, creating that structure where they have commercial and can live and have that type of lifestyle.
Is it across the nation or just in Jersey or Tri-State right now?
So the reality is that I'm in Jersey. There's a few towns that I'm in negotiating with on moving forward. But the program can go all over.
Okay.
Like it can go all over. Okay. But yeah, I'm in Jersey right now.
We're about to close out. I really appreciate you doing this.
Yes, sir.
You dropped a lot of gems. I learned a lot as I'm sitting here with you, but I'm sure as I'm watching and I edit it, I'm sure there's something I probably missed being here that I'm going to catch on to that's going to really sink in.
Right, Jesus.
Again, I appreciate you. Is there any last statements or shout outs you want to give? Yeah,
support that Sons of Sins.
Oh yeah, Sons of Sin.
Dream Reality. They good pieces that's out from your own folks. And man, we gotta start the 4 principles. I'm gonna end off with that. Have knowledge of yourself. Know who you and your God is. And in knowing your God, have a purpose and your vision clear. When you stumble and people do whatever they doing, fall back to the internal truth of your vision and your purpose with God. Second thing is law. They play us out through the law. Trump is in office, and I'm telling y'all, they're gonna play us out through the law. So start studying law and become a master of the law. Ownership. If you don't own it, you don't got no say-so. Who decides on how much wage you make? Do you decide what your wage is?
No.
All right, so that's the end of it right there. If you ain't determining how much money you want to take home, and I'm not talking about this year, I think I want to make 40, and then 10 years from now, I can make 42. No, I'm talking about being able to say, all right, this is what we're going for, this is my percentage of it, and this is my goal. That's where we belong, and it's called ownership.
I appreciate that. Now, y'all heard it. Y'all heard it from Anthony Ways. Shout out Anthony Ways. He's dropping gems. This was really a dope interview. That closes us out with opposing perspectives. I'm your host, Sedale. You can make sure to tune in to us on YouTube, Facebook, IG, TikTok. Thank you.
Peace.
Nigga on that stress, always got that money in. Keep a bunch of struggle bitches just so I can juggle with. Money always stacked up. Check my drip, I'm always clean. Packed up, didn't try. I shot that bitch all yesterday. Tried that bitch all yesterday. I scoot away, I play the safe. Big dog in the yard, I don't talk, huh?